discussions about masks everywhere we look. And we're wondering, is the science telling us the truth? So many people asking questions. When you're wearing a mask, are you wearing it just because you have to? Do you believe in it? Is it tight enough? Does anyone appear to be wearing this thing in a way that would make any difference whatsoever? All of these are our questions. And I want to talk about, where does the truth actually lie this week? Who's lying? Who's telling the truth? Who should we trust? Can we trust anybody? Well, if you remember how the whole mask discussion started, it sounded a lot like this a couple of months ago.
Medical masks like this one cannot protect against the new coronavirus when used alone.
Right now in the United States, people should not be walking around with masks. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And a surgical mask, let's start with that one, does not protect you from the from a respiratory virus. It's got leaks all around it, and it's really designed as a barrier protection for people in the operating room. That's why they call it a surgical mask. The N95, which is the one that people are buying up, important also to understand that that N95 mask, I have to be fit tested for it. I've got to make sure I've got a tight seal to wear it as a healthcare provider. The average person out there, the average citizen, that mask is not going to protect them. And as a matter of fact, in most cases, they're actually going to increase their risk of being contaminated with a virus when they're wearing that mask improperly, because they tend to touch their face, they tend to move it around. It's very uncomfortable, it's hard to breathe in. Not only are you not preventing yourself from getting a disease, you may be increasing your chance of getting a disease by wearing that mask.
Now, I'm pretty sure those weren't computer simulations of who we believe to be the heads of our health department. It sounded like a lot of knowledge and information and science-based evidence that we were being given there. And I know some of you are probably saying, Del, you've already played that clip. Are we doing this again? Well, did you happen to see what Tony Fauci said just last week about those statements? I mean, right, we're wondering, why am I wearing masks? Why are there wars going on in grocery stores right now? And what was it? What was he saying to 60 Minutes, Tony Fauci? What does Surgeon General mean? Well, this is apparently what they meant from Tony Fauci's own mouth.
What about a month or so, or 2 or 3 ago, when people were saying, you don't really need to wear a mask? Well, the reason for that is that we were concerned, the public health community, and many people were saying this, were concerned that it was at a time when personal protective equipment, including the N95 masks and the surgical masks, were in very short supply. And we wanted to make sure that the people, namely the healthcare workers, who were brave enough to put themselves in harm's way to take care of people who were infected with the coronavirus and the danger of them getting infected, we did not want them to be without the equipment that they needed.
So we lied to you. I think is about the only way we can take what Tony Fauci just said. We were worried about the frontline workers who apparently, I guess, shop at Walmart and Costco to get their masks, because that's where we're getting our masks, right? Is that where hospitals go to get their masks? When I was at Costco, or we were there and we're thinking I should probably get a mask, did you know you were interrupting the hospital supply chain by purchasing at Target, Costco, and Home Depot, I suppose? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, and it sure sounded like, what happened to all the science you were talking about? What happened to Surgeon General? So we aren't touching our mask and moving it around, and that is not a problem, and the gaps in air and unfitted masks really were not a problem, that we were just making that up. We were just telling a little bit of a fib, I suppose. And now really try to wrap your head around the fact, I mean, this is what I do, right? I try to imagine what's really happening behind the scenes, right? Just put yourself in Tony Fauci's shoes. Remember, he is probably sitting with at least 20 people in a boardroom somewhere talking about the dangers of, what's going on and how we're going to get people to mask and social distance for whatever God knows reason we are going through this. They all sat around and said, we have a slight problem here. Houston, Tony, I just want to, I don't want to be like difficult here, but you did say on 60 Minutes people didn't need to wear masks. And by the way, don't be giggling over there, Surgeon General. You too said it too. In fact, we all said it somewhere on a camera. So now, how are we going to get people to believe in masks when we said that they weren't necessary just a couple of months ago? And whatever that conversation was, and whatever the reasoning that they actually have to batten us down and have us wearing masks now, their best option, their absolute best option they could think of was to send out the head of our coronavirus task force to tell all of us, we lied to you. Tony, we've been through it. We've been through this. We've got our whiteboards. We've been to chalkboards. We've covered all of it. And I think it seems plain and clear now, you have to go out and tell the world that America's health department lies to its people. All right, got it. All right, I'm on it. I mean, Tony, you got to hand it to the guy. It's probably why he's been there for, half a century or more in that same position, because who else would do it? Most people would say, I would be going, are you kidding me? I'm not taking the fall on that, especially when the science sucks as bad as it does around this entire thing. But no, Tony Fauci stood up and took it. All right, well, good for you, Tony. I guess that's your job. But what are the rest of us supposed to do? What do we think now that the young, or the boy that cried wolf has made this statement? Well, now the headline about us is this: Fauci blames anti-science bias for people not following COVID-19 rules. No, it's not anti-science bias. It's a lack in confidence in scientific truths. If you keep telling us lie upon lie upon lie, and then you don't even do what like a bad parent does, just never tell your kid you lied to them, right? No, you actually come out and say, no, we lied to you. No, that's how we did it. That was our plan. Anthony Fauci lied about masks. Now he complains that people distrust authority. Great headline. Exactly my point right there. Of course we don't trust authority. You're telling us you will say whatever you have to fulfill whatever agenda it is you have.
If you like that clip, then be sure to check out our live broadcast of The High Wire every Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Pacific Time. You can watch it on Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, and Twitter. We'll see you there.